Businesses in Richmond and Henrico are still feeling the effects from January's water crisis. Why they say it's been tough to recover from the loss of business.
Governor Glenn Youngkin says he signed close to 100 bills in a variety of areas, highlighting several of the bills that he says will help Virginia's businesses and job sectors. Brendan King will join us live with the details.
Yeah, slam dunk from Xavier in their first 4 games. We have your March Madness matchups happening today, including when you can see the VCU Rams take on BYU later today.
This is CBS 6 Early Morning.
Go Rams, and thanks for joining us here on this Thursday, March 20th. I'm Rob Cardwell.
We love March Madness. And I'm Reba Hollingsworth. Kristen will have a check on the roads coming up in a few minutes. But first, let's get a check on your forecast from Mike Stone. And Mike, in a matter of, 2 minutes, it will be officially spring, right?
Yes, and it's going to feel pretty warm again today. Yesterday got in the mid-70s. Today will be in the low and mid-70s. And take a look at our Independence Golf Club camera there. And you can see we have some stars outside. So there are a few clouds right now. The clouds will increase during the day today, but there will be some sunshine this morning. And we are expecting some rain this afternoon. Right now we have a mix of 40s and 50s, but it's 58 over in Danville. So it is significantly warmer than this point yesterday, at least about a good 5 to 10 degrees warmer. But some spots like Stanton, 21 degrees warmer versus this time yesterday. There we have a couple clouds here locally. There's the front off towards the west in Kentucky and Tennessee. That'll bring us a chance of some showers this afternoon. But before the front comes in, the rain arrives. Temperatures will get into the low and mid 70s across the metro. And we'll have some wind gusts over 30 miles an hour today. Then once the rain starts, temperatures will drop down into the 60s. There'll be a dry morning through the midday hours. Chance rain starts going up afternoon, but the best chance of rain in the metro is going to be about 3 to 6 p.m. or so. And then the chance of rain will start to taper off this evening. In fact, we'll show you as the rain comes into the Commonwealth, the showers and thunderstorms will increase this afternoon into this evening. We have some cooler weather for tomorrow. We'll take a look at that in your weekend coming up in just a little bit. Rob, Reba.
All right, thanks, Mike. The impacts from January's water crisis continue to be felt by Richmond and Henrico businesses who were unable to operate for days.
Yeah, and while relief is out there for some in Richmond, Henrico businesses are ineligible to apply. Our Maggie Marshall shares the voice of one business struggling to bounce back.
Charles Kitchen here in the West End is one of the many small restaurants that operate paycheck to paycheck. The owner tells me they've had to almost close their doors because of the impact, and if it wasn't for the flexibility their landlord has provided. And a Henrico strip mall filled with many restaurants.
What I do is a little different, a little bit more exciting.
Sits one that is struggling to keep serving their community.
Where you at?
Where I'm at?
Yeah.
I'm at Charlie.
You better believe it.
The owner of Charles Kitchen.
Gotcha. Would that be all for you?
Yes, sir.
Says times are tough.
The water crisis came and make it unpalatable.
The restaurant is one of hundreds in Henrico and the city of Richmond that closed for days in January. They did not have water and then were under a boil water advisory after failures at Richmond's water plant.
Our sale just dropped zero.
Things didn't immediately get better though when they reopened.
They didn't trust the water. They just didn't trust the water, period. But people just started trickling like a leaky faucet.
The restaurant became behind on rent.
Not having those funds kind of like push us back a lot.
Their landlord allowed them to have an extension for rent. However, they learned they wouldn't be eligible for the small business water recovery grant through the city because their business operates in the county.
It's a little suck. It's a little, because we are going through the same problem that Richmond is going through. And it's the same problem that caused Richmond is the same problem that caused us. So we feel that we should be able to.
Henrico County does not have a small business recovery grant in place. We're waiting for a response in regards to Charles's concerns. A spokesperson for the city says, quote, "This is an initiative established by the city with financial support by the Economic Development Authority and private sector partners with the intent for businesses operating within the city of Richmond." Richmond businesses are able to apply for that water recovery grant through the Metropolitan Business League from now until the 28th. Coming up, I'll tell you how many people have applied so far to that grant. In Henrico, I'm Maggie Marshall, CBS 6 News.
And to check out our full coverage of Richmond's water crisis, don't forget you can always head to our website, WTVR.com, or download the free CBS 6 News app. 5:03 right now. Governor Glenn Youngkin has signed close to 100 new bills into law and spent time Wednesday highlighting ones that he says will help grow Virginia businesses and jobs.
Brendan King is here in the studio with us, sharing what other legislation Democrats say he should also be approving. Brendan.
At a press conference yesterday, Governor Glenn Youngkin told reporters that he's focused on bills that are good for Virginia businesses and not signing bills that are bad for business. The bipartisan bills Youngkin did sign are part of a several dozen he announced his support for Wednesday, and some of the over 900 right now under consideration that lawmakers approved earlier this year. That includes bills that give incentives to advanced manufacturing companies, a bill he says will allow the country's first commercial nuclear fusion plant to be constructed in Chesterfield County. And right now we're also hearing from the Democrats. Listen.
What we've been doing is not only working, but it has positioned Virginia to lead. That we continue to strive to be a state that invests in sites, a state that deregulates and streamlines burdens, a state that reduces taxes.
The issues that are facing working families, and the governor never speaks to those concerns.
A little bit more on that. That was State Senator Ghazala Hashmi, and she questioned why Youngkin has not yet signed bills like paid family sick leave or raising the minimum wage. Youngkin has until Monday to sign, veto, or amend the 800-plus other bills passed by lawmakers this year. You'll hear more from both sides of the aisle ahead at 5:30.
All right, thanks, Brendan.
5:05. Let's get a check on the roads. Here's Kristen.
All right, you can see the flashing lights out there, Rob and Rita. So this is the bridge repairs taking place in Henrico. We're Interstate 95 close to Parham Road, mile marker 83. And we have those alternating double lane closures and ramp closures through the area. You can see the work that's being done. The interstate underneath there looking okay through the area. Let me zoom in so you can see the activity that would be happening. So we're north of the Bryan Park interchange, Parham Road over Interstate 95. So again, those lane and ramp closures will be in effect until about 6 o'clock. Tomorrow should be our last day seeing this project for now, as crews are still working on this. Watch out for any amber flashing lights through the area. We have the bridge rehabilitation work that's taking place. We're supposed to see travel lanes reopening this morning. Interstate 95 southbound, that left lane has been closed all week as a continuous closure, possibly adding some of those other lane closures through the area. Just south of the Doswell or Kings Dominion Boulevard exit, it's about a 2-mile stretch. We've seen the lane closures from mile marker 97 to 95. Rob?
Thank you, Kristen. An event for families showcasing valuable resources, products, and services that enhance the lives of children and adults. It's coming to Chesterfield.
Caroline Coburn is live with all the details you need to know about the Baby and Family Expo.
Well, Rob, Reba, good morning. Radio 1 has partnered with Anthem Health Keepers to host the first ever Baby and Family Expo at Chesterfield Town Center this weekend. Now, as you guys just mentioned, the free event is going to provide existing and new families with resources, products, and services to help them navigate parenthood. Now, you can expect a variety of vendors, including counseling and insurance providers, interactive activities, demonstrations, and exercises, as well as a fully stocked baby prize giveaway that includes a new crib, bottle warmer, and baby monitor. Anissa Turner-Randolph with Radio 1 says the event should serve as a one-stop shop for families looking for help and information during what can often be a beautiful but stressful time.
We're about to bring a new generation into this world, especially during this time. It can feel very overwhelming. It can feel like, what the heck am I doing? Whether you have your first child or your fifth child, every child is different. So we definitely want to be the one to provide just that relief.
Now, the event will run from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. on Saturday, March 22nd. You'll be able to find the whole workshop set up behind the food court at Chesterfield Town Center. Now, stay tuned. Much more ahead at 5:30. Rob, Reba?
All right, thanks, Caroline. Today is the first day of spring, and the season typically brings pollen and seasonal allergies. The Asthma and Allergy Foundation of America has released its list of American cities it has dubbed allergy capitals. The nonprofit found that the most problematic regions for allergy sufferers are in the Midwest and the Southeast. For a third year in a row, Wichita, Kansas takes the top spot. The report cites that the city's higher than average tree and grass pollen for its first place ranking. New Orleans and Oklahoma City ranked second and third, with Tulsa and Memphis rounding out the top 5. Richmond is not that far behind, ranking as the 8th allergy capital in the country, according to this survey. Virginia Beach comes in at 11.
I believe it. Richmond at 8. I'm just pouring Zyrtec into my cereal bowl and just eating
I'm telling you, right? Mike.
And you know what, as the climate gets warmer, our algae season's longer. It starts earlier in the spring and lasts longer into the fall. In fact, we have high values of tree pollen again today. Hopefully the rain today will wash some of that out, but if you are suffering from allergies, it's because of tree pollen. And for today, we will have a chance for a few showers and thunderstorms this afternoon. In fact, could get some decent rain mid to late afternoon. A high today in low and mid 70s. Cooler tomorrow. We'll take a look at the first weekend of spring coming up in the 7-day forecast. Time now for another Window World picture, and this one comes to us from Jewel Flemings, and this is called a Hawaii sunset with the family. That must have been an awesome vacation, Jewel. If you have a picture you want to send us, pics@WTVR.com is the email address, or you can use our CBS 6 Weather Authority app. Rob Ruda.
Man, you guys are some good photographers. Some of these pictures that are coming in. March Madness is in full swing, and today's the day VCU puts on their dancing shoes. We're going to share the outcomes of the first 4 games yesterday, plus when you can see the Rams take on BYU.
Plus, a Virginia-based nonprofit has been supporting injured veterans for over 2 decades. Next, how the organization changed the life of a former soldier who lost the use of his legs. That's in your positive start to your day. President Donald Trump is expected to sign an executive order today to begin dismantling the Department of Education. This follows the agency announcing workforce cuts of nearly 50% earlier this month. About 1,300 employees were laid off, with hundreds more taking voluntary buyouts. According to a Trump administration official, the president will direct Department of Education Secretary Linda McMahon to take the steps needed to, quote, return education authority to the states. Trump says the DOE is a sign of federal overreach, but it's unclear how many states want to take over its responsibilities. The National Education Association president says dismantling DOE aims at a wrecking ball at the futures of 50 million students. Walk-in protests against the previous cuts were happening at schools here in Richmond yesterday, where protesters saying more cuts to education would make existing problems worse.
We already know what cuts to education look like. They look like larger classroom sizes, less support, less trained teachers, bodies in a room. We already have a teacher shortage.
Even with the executive order shutting down the department entirely, would it require an act of Congress?
The first 4 is officially in the books. The number 11 seed, Xavier, stunning Texas with an 86-80 comeback win to cap 2 incredible days of basketball from Dayton, Ohio. The Musketeers will now face number 6 seed Illinois on Friday in the first round. Number 16 seed Mount St. Mary's defeated American 83-72 to pick up its 3rd NCAA tournament win in program history. Mount St. Mary's will now face Cooper Flagg and number 1 seed Duke on Friday. This afternoon is the big game. At 4:05, the VCU Rams will play BYU, a team the program hasn't faced in 40 years. But VCU's coach Ryan Odom is a little familiar with the program from his 2 years at Utah State. Because of today's scheduled games, take a close look at your screen here on CBS 6. We have some programming changes you need to know about. The Jennifer Hudson Show will air at 10 o'clock this morning. You can watch Creighton take on Louisville starting at noon. Alabama State will take on Auburn at 2:50. And then Arkansas versus Kansas. That's the big one for one of our traffic reporters over there. That's at 7. Omaha versus St. John's at 9:45. So a lot of basketball today. We will not have a noon, a 4, or a 7:30 p.m. newscast. We will have the news at 5, 6, and 11.
One of our traffic reporters, the only one.
What is it, Rock
Chalk Jayhawk.
Rock Chalk Jayhawk. Let's go.
We know who you're talking about.
Oh, we know who, right? All right, Mike, it is spring. I'm so happy.
It is, yeah. It's about 15 minutes old right now. We are going, who's counting, right? Did Liberace? For a second, I thought Liberace came in the room. I was like, that's your top story for today. We have clear skies to partly cloudy skies outside right now. Our normal high for today is 61. Yesterday, we got up to 76, and today we'll still be in the low and mid 70s. Sun's up at 7:12. It'll set tonight at 7:22. Precipitation-wise for the month, we're about a half an inch above normal in terms of the liquid rainfall or melted down precip. And we may add another half inch in some areas today. Right now, we have a mix of 40s and 50s, although it's close to 60 in Stanton and Danville. And then the warm air is coming up ahead this front off towards the west. You notice there's a very kind of small window of rain right here, and that's going to come right over our area towards about mid-afternoon. So first half of the day should be dry, but then once you get past about 1, 2 o'clock, the chance of rain is going to go up. In fact, we'll take you through it hour by hour. Increasing clouds across the area for today will be breezy, some gusts over 30 miles an hour possible. Some showers off towards the west by 1, 2 o'clock, but moving into central Virginia between about 2 and 4 p.m. And then those will track to eastern Virginia here by late afternoon and early evening. Could have a few thunderstorms with this, not expecting any severe weather, but we could have some wind gusts today over 30, 35 miles an hour or so. And we'll have some scattered showers around through the evening, but then this will move out tonight and we'll have sunny skies for tomorrow. Our computer models put out anywhere from about 1/10 of an inch to almost an inch of rain. We average about 20 of them. Comes out to a little bit more than about 1/3 of an inch of rain. So a decent soaking potential there for this afternoon. Now ahead of the front, we'll have some 60s near the coast, but a lot of central Virginia, low and mid 70s. Farther to the west, where we'll have thicker clouds and rain sooner, some mid to upper 60s then. Overnight tonight into tomorrow morning, lows between about 35 and 40 roughly. And then for tomorrow, cooler with some 50s and low 60s. On Saturday, highs jump back up into the upper 60s and low 70s away from the coast, but another front comes through Saturday night. No rain with that for us, but we'll bring in some cooler weather for Sunday with highs in the 50s and 60s, but we'll be a little bit warmer towards the south and west. So for our first day of astronomical spring, a high of 75 today, then the first full day tomorrow, 61. 71 on Saturday. We'll be breezy the next couple days. Next chance of rain comes in on Monday. We could have a couple showers towards about the middle part of next week, looking for highs in at least the low and mid 60s the first half of next week, and a normal high during this period is in the low 60s. Rob, Reba?
70 and sunny sounds good to me.
For over 20 years, a Virginia-based nonprofit has been lending a hand to critically wounded, ill, or injured veterans all across the country.
Yeah, I love this. In your positive start to your day, we're going to hear the voice of one retired Army Master Sergeant who says the group gave him the gift of independence after he lost the use of his legs in an accident. In 2018, Logan Brokaw was involved in a training accident. After being in a coma for 13 days, this James City County native woke up paralyzed from the waist down. In the weeks following, Brokaw received support from the Semper Fi and America's Fund. That's run by veterans and military spouses. The organization pays for short-term emergency expenses. Well, over the last few years, this nonprofit has also provided Brokaw with a case manager, an adaptive sled, hockey gear, and an action track chair so he can move around his home independently.
A lot of veterans are very hesitant to reach out and ask for help for a myriad of reasons, and you know, it's important to know that the fund is there to help.
We're there to wrap our arms around them as well and help them with all the little things of daily life that can make taking care of a loved one difficult.
Since its inception in 2004, the Semper Fi and America's Fund has helped nearly 34,000 veterans.
Oh, love that.
You know what? You may have seen pet doorbells. They allow a dog to ring and then they can go in and out. But I bet you've never heard of a fish doorbell.
Nope.
Huh? Well, coming up, who's ringing that bell? And how it helps the fish out, too.
Good morning to you. It is 5:23 hitting the roadways. We are crash-free and for the most part delay-free, but I want to show you the flashing lights outside. Our top camera view here is north of the Bryan Park interchange, Interstate 95 at Parham Road, and you can see the flashing lights there. We have that ongoing bridge work that's taking place, so expect to see some lane closures as that vehicle's passing by. You can still see that the bridge is open. You'll have access there, but off to that right side of the roadway, flashing lights and cones are already out. 95 at Arthur Ashe Boulevard, that's about mile marker 78 heading into the downtown area. One of your next exits would be the Belvedere Street exit. That's the VCU area. We're all the way downtown. 95 southbound, follow those headlights, will reach the James River Bridge. 95 northbound off to the right side of the roadway, your Broad Street exit, mile marker 74. And here in Petersburg, 95 at Washington and Wythe Street. That's about mile marker 52, still north of the 95-85 interchange there, but in and out of Petersburg this time of the morning. Looks good. Your drive times all in green We'll try to break those down in our next update. Rob, Reba?
All right. Okay, this might sound fishy, but ecologists in the Netherlands have installed a doorbell to give fish a smoother migration.
Yeah, an underwater camera streams live video from a river lock, allowing online viewers who spot a fish to send in screenshots. Now, when enough fish gather at the gate, fish fans can ring the doorbell, alerting the lock master to open the passage so swimmers can make their way to the shallow grounds to mate.
There is a huge willingness and potential in people just offering a little bit of help to create a little bit of a better environment, help nature out.
Now in its 5th year, the Fish Doorbell site has made a huge splash, attracting millions of viewers from around the world with its quirky mix of slow TV and eco-friendly action.
Give a man a fish, he'll eat for a day. Give a fish a doorbell, and man, they'll just find somebody to love, I guess.
Hello.
Yeah. Hello.
Okay. Well, a must-attend for families eager to discover valuable resources that enhance the lives of children is happening today this weekend. Our Caroline Coburn has details for Radio 1's the first Baby and Family Expo and the importance of this event.
A daycare in Chester is set to lose its license after a child wandered onto this busy road last month. What we're learning about who was watching that child.
Plus, Governor Youngkin is highlighting several new bills he signed into law he says will help grow Virginia businesses and jobs. The other legislation Democrats say he should also be approving.
This is CBS 6 Early Morning.
Well, hi there. We're coming up on 5:30. Thanks for joining us on this Thursday, March 20th. I'm Rob Cardwell.
And I'm Reba Hollingsworth. Thanks for staying with us this morning. Before we get to Kristen's traffic and your news of the day, let's send it to Mike Stone in for Tom this morning on this first day of spring.
Yeah, guys. In fact, it started about 28 minutes ago, the vernal equinox. So this is our first day of spring. And temperatures across the region right now are actually pretty decently warm compared to this time yesterday. We have some upper 40s and low 50s. It's even close to 60 out by Danville. And versus this time yesterday, temperatures are up at least a good 10, 15 degrees in some locations, if not a little bit more. We are watching this batch of showers off to the west, as in Kentucky and Tennessee right now. Locally, we just have a few clouds streaming on by, and we'll have some sun with increasing clouds today. The winds will pick up. We'll have some gusts over 30 miles an hour, and that rain gets here later on this afternoon. But in the meantime, we're looking for high temperatures today, getting low and mid 70s. Then that front comes through with the rain, and the temperatures will drop down to the 60s and 50s this evening. It'll be a dry morning through midday. Then that chance of rain starts to increase as we get into the afternoon, especially around 3 o'clock across the Richmond metro area. And then rain chances will diminish going into this evening. But today is that first day of spring. We'll talk about the weekend coming up, which has a little bit of a temperature change. It's all coming up in just a little bit. Robin Reba.
All right, thanks, Mike. We have breaking news out of Richmond where police are investigating a homicide. It happened in the 400 block of East Brooklyn Park Avenue just after 2 this morning. Police say a man was shot and was later pronounced dead at the scene. Anyone with information is asked to call Crime Stoppers. That number's at the bottom of your screen.
A Chester daycare where a child wandered onto a busy road last month will fight the state's attempt to shut it down. The Virginia Department of Education sent the daycare owner a notice last month saying that the state intends to revoke the religious exemption to operate. Now, that was after a Department of Social Services report found that a 17-year-old had been watching 4 small children here at the Fortress of God Child Care. That was on February 21st when a child escaped and wandered out onto West 100 Road. VDOE confirmed with our Melissa Hippolyte that Fortress of God has appealed that notice. The daycare has since reopened, though, with the owner telling Melissa separate fire code violations have also been rectified. An informal conference on the daycare's license will be held April 9th. Developing now, hundreds of new bills now have Governor Youngkin's signature to become laws.
Several of those are aimed at helping to grow Virginia businesses and jobs. Brendan King joins us now in the studio explaining those laws and how Democrats are responding. Brendan.
Well, this morning, Democrats are criticizing Governor Youngkin, saying he's not talking about issues that are facing working families. The governor says he's focused on bills that are good for Virginia businesses. The bipartisan bills Youngkin did sign are part of several dozen he announced his support for Wednesday, among 900 total bills under consideration that lawmakers approved earlier this year. So among them, a bill expanding the state funding to get sites ready for businesses to move in, available to smaller localities.
On top of that, I will be including in my budget amendments incremental money for site investment. I think we've demonstrated that the ability to continue to invest over years in site development is a clear winner, and we need to continue to do that.
Paid family and sick leave, raising the minimum wage, assuring that there are child care options and protections for so many working families. We didn't hear anything about affordable housing.
In past years, Youngkin has vetoed the minimum wage increase and paid family sick leave. He has until Monday to sign, veto, or amend the 800 plus other bills passed by lawmakers. We'll certainly keep you updated.
All right, thanks, Brendan.
Almost 5:33. Let's get a check on the traffic right now. Here's Kristen.
All right, let's take you out downtown, Interstate 95 northbound. So you're coming across the James River Bridge, trying to reach this ramp here. Interstate 64 taking you to the Chaco Valley Bridge. We're going to get some drive times in just a second. I'll point out 95 southbound, just a slight tap of the brakes there, working your way down towards the Broad Street exit. All right, for the most part, we'll wait till they pop up. We are in green. It's under a 10-minute drive. It'll take you about 8 minutes from where we were looking. 64 eastbound, really from downtown. That ramp to Interstate 64 eastbound across the Chaco Valley Bridge out towards the Richmond Airport exit into eastern Henrico. An 11-minute commute, 64 eastbound. Now we're in Henrico's west end. The short pump area, this is close to Broad Street, mile marker 178. To the downtown area, about mile marker 76. That would be about the VCU exit. A 10-minute drive, 95 northbound, coming up from the Route 288 interchange, mile marker 62. To the downtown expressway exit, this takes you across the James River Bridge, and that will be about mile marker 74, so just north of Morey Street there, crossing the bridge. And let me talk to you about what's happening this weekend. We have bridge maintenance that's closing down the ramp again. We've seen this project before. You can expect to see it all weekend. It's a continuous closure here, Robin Reba. The Meadow Street on ramp will be closed to eastbound downtown expressway. Back to you.
Thanks, Kristen. The first ever Radio 1 Baby and Family Expo. It's happening this weekend.
Yeah, Caroline Coburn is live in the newsroom detailing the importance of the event and the valuable resources available for families. Caroline.
Well, Rob Reba, good morning. This event will be a one-stop shop for moms and dads, providing valuable resources, including financial and mental health resources to help you navigate the journey to parenthood. Now, the Radio 1 has partnered with Anthem Health Keepers to host this expo at Chesterfield Town Center Saturday. The free event will also feature a variety of vendors, including counseling and insurance providers, interactive activities, demonstrations, and exercises, as well as a fully stocked baby prize giveaway with a new crib, bottle warmer, and baby monitor. Anissa Turner-Randolph with Radio 1 says dads and kids will be able to find resources Saturday too, but there will be a lot of information and help for both new and existing moms, as they know the journey to having a child can be difficult.
Bringing into a family should be beautiful and not anxious. And so coming to this event, we just hope that you'll be able to leave with something, whatever the thing that you need. Mental health resources, because postpartum is a thing. Going through pregnancy, whether you're married or a single mom or whatever your life situation is, it can be a lot. So mental resources, again, that financial piece is key. So we're going to have that on site, and just different activities for kids that you currently have as well, because we want them to feel important. Maybe they have a new brother or sister coming into this world. And so I think that this event is just going to be really meaningful and impactful.
Now, the Virginia Fire Department will also be on site Saturday to provide fire safety tips and resources. The event will be featured. It will take place behind the food court at Chesterfield Town Center, and it will run from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. Rob Reba.
Thank you, Caroline. And if you have a story for Caroline, just give her a call at the number on your screen here, or you can always send her an email at caroline.colburn@WTVR.com, and she can help share your voice.
Well, with so many Americans watching their wallets, there are some expenses you just can't avoid. If you have little ones at home, that includes diapers, which can be pretty expensive. That's why Chesterfield is holding its 12th annual diaper drive this month. Residents and businesses are encouraged to purchase new unopened packages of diapers and wipes to help out hundreds of families enrolled with the Families First program. They connect directly with families who need assistance. You can donate to the diaper drive in several ways. There's a link to an Amazon wish list on the Chesterfield.com website, .gov website that is, or you can drop off donations at any Chesterfield Public Library, with the exception of, I always mispronounce those,
LaPrade
Library, which is closed for renovations. Donations will be accepted until the end of March.
LaPrade. 5:37. Let's get a check on the weather you're waking up to. Here's Mike.
Hey guys, well, temperatures right now are in the 40s and 50s. We're going to have a little bit of sun first part of the day today. Clouds will increase, and we'll have some showers and thunderstorms developing this afternoon. Best chance of rain in the metro is going to be after about 2 o'clock today, so about 3 to 6 more or less. Could have a few rumbles of thunder. It's going to be breezy today. Highs in the low mid 70s across the metro, and could have some gusts over 30 miles an hour. We'll talk about your 7-day forecast coming up in just a little bit, but time now for another Window World picture. And for this half hour, this is from Gina Lett, and this one is called White Squirrel Eating a Fudge Pretzel at the National Mall. I like it. There's a lot going on in that title.
Are you serious?
There's a who, what, where, when, and why there.
It answers everything we need to know. So thank you, Gina. If you want to send us a picture of a white squirrel, perhaps a different color squirrel, send it to pics@wtvr.com or use the Weather Authority app. Guys?
That is cool, though. It's a major step towards what Petersburg expects to be an economic boom. How much money officials say the new casino project could bring in, and what those opposed to the project are saying.
Plus, President Trump wants the IRS to share taxpayer data with the Department of Homeland Security. We're going to explain why next.
You're watching CBS 6, part of the Scripps News Group.
The Department of Homeland Security has attained a postdoctoral fellow at Georgetown University. Bader Khan Suri is an Indian national studying peace building in Iraq and Afghanistan. The university says it is not aware of him engaging in any illegal activity. He is here on a visa to continue his research. According to DHS, he was actively spreading Hamas propaganda and spreading anti-Semitism on social media. Officials there also claim he has connections to a senior Hamas advisor. This comes after Columbia University graduate and Palestinian activist Mahmoud Khalil was arrested earlier this month. Both men could face deportation.
The Trump administration says the IRS is discussing turning over your taxpayer data to the Department of Homeland Security. The administration says sharing that highly confidential data to the IRS, taxpayer data, I should say, could lead to deportations of undocumented immigrants who have registered with the IRS and pay taxes. The agency is required to keep their private information confidential, except for very specific circumstances detailed in the tax code. A Justice Department lawyer says the IRS would only divulge information about undocumented immigrants if DHS wants data on a specific person. That would have to fall under provisions allowing legal disclosures. Now, as of now, there is no emergency order blocking the IRS from sharing that information.
Purdue Pharma hopes a bankruptcy judge will approve its reorganization plan. The OxyContin drug maker says under the new plan filed Wednesday, Purdue Pharma will be dissolved and its assets transferred to a new company. The new public benefit company will focus on the opioid epidemic. This comes about 2 months after Purdue Pharma and its Sackler family owners agreed to a $7.4 billion settlement. The deal will resolve thousands of lawsuits which allege OxyContin pain medication caused a nationwide opioid addiction crisis. It also means the Sacklers will have no ownership interest or role with the new company. A historic moment in Petersburg Thursday morning, the official groundbreaking for the largest economic development project in the city's history and in the region.
4 months after the citizens of Petersburg voted to bring a casino to the community, reality is starting to set in here. Cordish Gaming says over the next decade, the project is expected to bring billions of dollars in economic impact, spread out across the state, the region, and Petersburg specifically. And while many are excited about the potential money and the exposure, there have been some against it.
It's going to bring a lot of people in that don't know anything about Petersburg. Petersburg is such a historic city, one of the most historic cities in the country. And this will bring them in here where they will learn and actually take advantage of the downtown as well as this casino.
It's a direct transfer of wealth economically devastated, promising to do things for us with our money that we're literally giving to them.
The casino referendum passed back in November with an overwhelming 82% of the vote.
A new exhibit at the Virginia Museum of History and Culture explores the Commonwealth's important role in the American Revolution. The exhibit is called Give Me Liberty, Virginia and the Forging of a Nation. It is opening in conjunction with the 250th anniversary of Patrick Henry's famous speech he made at St. John's Church here in Richmond. The exhibition will be the first major showing in the nation focused on commemorating America's 250th anniversary. Curator Andrew Talkoff said the museum partnered with the Jamestown-Yorktown Foundation to determine what should be included. Brendan got a sneak peek at the virtual reenactments, unique artifacts collected from museums across the Commonwealth, and untold stories of Virginians.
So people that come to this exhibit at the Virginia Museum of History and Culture are going to see stories they may be familiar with, like the founders, Jefferson, Washington. They're a key part of the revolutionary story, but so was every Virginian. So people will learn stories about the men, women, free and enslaved who lived in Virginia and were faced with significant choices as the revolutionary story unfolded.
The exhibit is free with admission. It opens to the public starting on Saturday, but museum members can view it early starting today.
Chris and I went there recently with my father, and he said when we were done, he goes, "Do you know how many times you said the word cool?" I mean, I would look at someone, "Oh, cool. Oh, cool."
It's just so neat when you're watching it, right? Very cool.
Pretty neat.
See, I just said it.
Yeah, there you go. Cool.
547, let me show you what's happening on our roadways here. 64 east and westbound. We're in Henrico's Weston. This is close to Broad Glenside. The ramp onto 64 eastbound would take you to our next exit at Staples Mill and all the way to the Bryan Park interchange. In both directions, we're looking good, moving along just fine. Slight tap of the brakes to the right side of the roadway. That would be 64 westbound heading out towards the Short Pump area or trying to access the Broad Glenside exits there. All right, across town, things are looking pretty good. We picked up a broken down vehicle. I do have information on that. That's from Prince George into Petersburg. It looks like it's along Interstate 95 about mile marker 47. Let's talk about the bridge rehabilitation work. You may have seen this and you may have seen the delays. Interstate 95 southbound after the Kings Dominion Boulevard exit just south of Doswell. This is mile marker 98. The work is being done at about mile marker 97 to 95. That left lane has been a continuous closure all week long. They are finally moving the barrels out of the way this morning. Everything should be cleared up, travel lanes reopening by 9 o'clock. Rob.
All right, thanks. Hey, you can help CBS 6 support the rescue and rehabilitation of shelter animals at the 23rd Annual Dog Jog 5K and Block Party. That's going to be Saturday, 2 days from today. Chief Meteorologist Zach Daniels emceeing that event. Walter the Weather Dog will no longer be there, unfortunately. He is recovering from a medical procedure, but we hear he's doing okay. The event starts at 10 a.m. at the SPCA's Humane Center on Hermitage Road in Richmond. The free block party is from noon to 5, and we have more information on our website, WTBR.com.
A major new project could reshape the city skyline. A developer from the Big Apple is setting their sights on a prime piece of property right here in the heart of Richmond. We're going to tell you where it might be built and what it may offer next.
Now, from CBS 6, the Weather Authority, meteorologist Mike Stone.
It's 5:53. Good Thursday morning. We have a mix of a few clouds and some stars outside right now. The current temperature at the airport's 51 degrees. Winds are out of the south at 9 miles an hour. And that southerly wind will continue to bring in warm air across the region for today. Today's the first day of spring. The vernal equinox was actually just under an hour ago at 5:01. Now go back to the first day of winter. The sunrise was at 7:21. The sun set at 4:55. We had just a little over 9.5 hours of daylight daylight. But for today, we're on Eastern Daylight Time. 7:12 is the sunrise. But look at that. The sun sets at 7:22. We have 12 hours and 10 minutes of daylight. So we've gotten over 2.5 hours of daylight since the first day of winter. And we're going to get another 2.5 hours of daylight between now and the summer solstice in late June. Right now, we have a mix of 40s and 50s, but it's close to 60 in Danville right now. There's this cold front here off towards the west. We have a warm southerly wind coming up ahead of it. As the system comes by later today, we'll tug in some cooler air tomorrow, but that just kind of take us back down to where we should be this time of year. Today, low and mid 70s. Tomorrow, like right around 60 degrees, but it is significantly warmer across our region, at least 5 to 10, if not 15 or more degrees warmer than 24 hours ago. But that cooler air will settle in for tomorrow, just briefly, because it's going to warm back up on Saturday. We have a low corridor of rain to the west that we're watching, but at least it's not snow. It's snowing from Chicago up into the western Great Lakes. But for us, it's just going to be this batch of rain here west of Charleston, West Virginia. It's going to be a few hours coming in this afternoon. So we'll have clouds increasing across the area today. So some sunshine, increasing clouds. And as we go into the afternoon, we'll be looking at temperatures getting into the low and mid 70s across the metro, some 60s north and west. Rain chances go up a lot to the west after 1 o'clock, and they go up in the metro by about 2, 3, 4 o'clock or so. The rain will come through. Could even have some embedded thunderstorms here as they track off towards the east. We'll have this main line come through, a couple of scattered showers behind that main line into this evening. And then this will move out of here tonight. Tomorrow morning will clear on out. Temperatures will be in the 30s to around 40 degrees. And tomorrow afternoon, we're looking for high temperatures in the upper 50s and low 60s. But look at this. We're back up in the low 70s on Saturday. We'll have some wind gusts over 30 today and some wind gusts over 25 Friday and Saturday. Cold front comes through Saturday evening. No rain with that, but it will cool us down to the low 60s on Sunday. Chance of some showers on Monday, back up to near 70. We'll have some low and mid 60s into the middle part next week. One system may bring us some rain by Wednesday. Rob, Reba?
All right, thanks, Mike. A mystery developer wants to build a 400-foot high-rise in downtown Richmond. That's according to Richmond Business.
Yeah, they're reporting that an unnamed New York firm has a plan to build a mixed-use tower for the vacant lot at 703 East Main Street. You might remember that's the site of the former Virginia Employment Commission building. 3 different tower designs are being considered, one of which would include hundreds of residential units, hotel rooms, a grocery store, office space, and restaurant and retail space. That's what it would look like. The developer is currently working on a proposal which it intends to submit to the state. So yeah, the landscape is changing here in Richmond, the skyline.
Oh, no, very interesting.
Mixed use, paper, plastic, aluminum cans.
No, different kind.
Different kind of mixed use. Businesses in Richmond and Henrico are still feeling the effects of January's water crisis today. Next, our Maggie Marshall shares how there are resources available to those in Richmond, while some in Henrico are on their own.
And today marks the official start of spring, which brings with it, of course, seasonal allergies. We're sharing a list of the cities where the allergies are the worst and where Richmond falls on that list.
Well, there's here. Well, that.